If you are an Aries, I'm going to take a guess that recently in your life, you feel like life has been hitting you hard and relentlessly, just to the point where you're really feeling like you just need a break, especially because you've probably been really questioning your sense of self and potentially even massively shifting your relationships, both with yourself, with others, ending relationships, starting new ones, and realizing that you don't like who you've been for a long time. And this can just feel exhausting and stressful, and you've been wanting a break. And there's a reason for this, which is what I want to talk about in this video and give some advice for those who are Aries. But first, welcome back to the Be the Hero channel. And if you're new here, welcome. My name's Isabelle. I help you understand the stars so you feel more clarity and control over your life. And before I dive into this video, make sure you hit the link in the description below to book a 1-hour birth chart reading with me, where we dive into any and everything about your chart so you can understand yourself and live a life you love. So, Aries, life has been extremely hard this past month for you. And you can probably even feel like you're having to revisit basically the past version of yourself a year ago, last April. And it can feel like you're having to completely shift your thoughts around your reality and how you yourself are in this reality. And as an Aries myself, I have been feeling this, which is why I felt called to make this video, because I'm sure there's a lot of other Aries out there going through the same thing. Recently in my life, I've been feeling called to, or not even called to, I've been forced to in many ways, under the idea that I create my own reality, that I need to shift something. There's something not in alignment with how I'm being in the world. And I've been really focusing on needing to shift my identity, shifting my sense of self, shifting how I want to be in the world. And it has felt stressful and exhausting, to say the least, this past month. It can feel like the hits don't stop coming, so to say. Every time I feel like I'm about to have it worked out, it feels like life is hitting me again and has been forcing me to go deeper. I cannot keep things superficial right now. And there's a reason for this. Under the idea of astrology, we have been Aries in eclipse season for the past month time, since about mid-March to now. We have been in eclipse season, and this eclipse has been focused on Libra and Aries. The North Node is here in Aries, which means it's our path to growth. It's put us in the spotlight. And so with eclipse season being in these signs, we have been in the spotlight focusing on our relationships and our relationship with our sense of identity. Unfortunately, now we have to heal this relationship, and it can make us feel like we're just not able to be our usual sense of self that we've been our entire lives, especially because it's been 12 years since Aries has been in the North Node. So we felt like we've been really settled into this sense of self for a while, and we can't be like this any longer. So if you've been feeling this way, it's because of the eclipse season. We've been in eclipse season, however, we are exiting it. And there's more to that, because not only do we have eclipse season, but Mercury has been retrograde in Aries, which has made us have to reflect on our sense of identity. The point is, though, of this video is not just to necessarily say that, it's eclipse season and now it's past, so you're not going to have to think about it anymore. These themes come up, and oftentimes the idea behind astrology is that the stars are always calling us to reflect on certain parts of our lives. It's calling us to do certain things. However, it can oftentimes feel like life is controlling us rather than we are controlling our reality or even creating our reality. So for those who are Aries, this has been an especially hard time. And eclipse season is why we've been feeling that we need to shift our relationships, let them go, and move towards a more independent, strong sense of self and change who we are in our lives. And trust me, I know how this feels going through this, because I've been really shifting my reality. Over this past month, I've ended my 1-year relationship and really realized that I need to be on my own, not even for the sake of hyper independence, but for the sake of living up to my expectations of life, and also having to shift my relationship with myself, realizing that the person I've been my entire life is very much a persona created by society, which is a hard thing to go through and oftentimes can be very uncomfortable, especially to basically let go of the sense of identity, the personality that has kept us feeling safe in our personal reality. So while, again, you could say that, oh, well, eclipse season is over, we can just move past this, there's something that can be left feeling unsettled if we don't resolve it. And so if you're an Aries watching this video, what I've been doing recently is really trying to think about, not only what it is, the identity I need to shift, but maybe even potentially just letting go of all sense of identity and sense of self, but where I'm going to go from that. Because not only can you just be looking at what your sense of identity is, as I've been finding, you have to think about just basically your desires. And looking at the rest of my birth chart has really helped me with that, figuring out what my basic needs are, what my higher needs are, and what stands in my way. Because not only is our chart oftentimes our strength, but it's very much our human weakness. It's our programming, so to say. It's our astrological energetic imprint that can be both negative and positive. And so if you know nothing about your birth chart, I highly recommend that you book a reading with me so that we can dive deep into what it is you desire. And that is in the end what I recommend that other Aries do during this time, as I'm finding it helps me, is looking at basically, oftentimes our sense of self is built off of the things we show up as. But we're very disconnected from the idea nowadays that we have a non-material self. We know we have a soul, a heart, a spirit, but we still see ourselves as the people we show up as. We are very much connected to our senses, especially because we are entering Taurus season. We can probably find that we are drawn towards materialistic senses of identity during this time. We can't help but want to feel that we're in the world. And I think the best way that I'm going to be navigating this, and how I recommend to other Aries too, is thinking about what if your sense of self is not in anything, but instead you just choose to do the things that make your heart happy? Can you let go of the sense of self and just put yourself in your heart, in your desires? Can you let go of how you're appearing in the world and just follow your heart from a place of love? We have been doing a lot of healing work too, because Chiron has been here, so we're really having to heal our sense of identity. So I notice I've been having to do a lot too with tapping into heart's desire, but also in a positive way. There's a lot of wounds there, and so having to confront a lot of wounds during this time has been a hard thing, but making it so that I can be more aligned with my desires. After all too, I know that based on other areas of my chart, I'm a Cancer moon. I want to be more nurtured, and that family is important to me. So if I can just let go of these senses of identity, needing to assert myself as an Aries, then the more I can tap into that desire and be more centered. And with that, our moon is a very interesting placement because it's both our benefit and detriment, just as anywhere else. It can be the key to our success if we truly just live in alignment with it. But granted, the ego gets in the way. So if those who have an Aries like me, it's our ego self. And that can oftentimes be something that limits us. It can be a place of strength, but more often than not, it's the ego. It is what we say we need to defend our sense of self in this material reality to make us feel structured. But really, what this time is for us is about seeing if we can let go of the ego as much as we're focused on it. We're focused on it to let it go. So if you can ask yourself what it is that you've been identified with, and how that's made you feel certain in reality, can you step into uncertainty? Can you basically just let everything go and start from a clean slate of just heart desire, which is what the positive side of Aries is. Aries is driven by passion, and that's something I feel have to keep very much in mind. They chase where their heart wants them to go without any sort of need to justify themselves, needing to prove themselves to be headstrong or be blunt. They're just following the heart. And so oftentimes in society, I feel Aries energy gets very much pulled into being headstrong, blunt, aggressive, the more negative sides, just given that we have a low vibrational world. So with that said, just basically reflecting on if you can just follow the heart's desire, let go of the identity, and know that when you feel called to put up that identity, once again, be more headstrong, be more blunt, be more even independent, so to say, if that's from a place of ego defense, to defend your sense of self and feel like you're still in the world. Can you let that go and basically dissolve into nothingness? I know that sounds really weird, but that's really a thought that I've been contemplating recently, and it sounds extreme, but it really means less than it sounds. Can you simply just be in reality? Can you enjoy reality without being attached to how you are in reality, what people think of you, if you get anything from it other than what your heart wants? And really connecting to what the heart's desire is, not what the ego desire is, or what you think you need during this time. So again, I feel like what's really helped me work through this too is knowing the rest of my chart, because it helps me connect to what those desires I have for my reality. So if you don't know anything about your chart, or if you need more clarity on understanding what your heart's desires are and what your purpose is outside of this egocentric self as an Aries, then book a reading with me in the link in the description below. These are 1 hour long. We dive into any and everything about your chart. We can have direct focus. We end up focusing maybe on just one thing. The sky's the limit, and it's all tailored to you and where you are at in your life. So you don't need to know anything about astrology. You can know everything about astrology, beginner, advanced, whatever it is. These readings are for you. They're meant to help you get clarity. So book in the link in the description below. Aries, let me know in the comments below if this video resonates. Do you feel like life has been extremely hectic, specifically for this past month, and that you're feeling like you have to revisit themes that were surfacing for you last April? Let me know in the comments below, and drop any other advice you have for fellow Aries down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Stay tuned for more videos breaking down the stars. Once again, my name is Isabelle, and from my heart to yours, namaste.